Good afternoon and happy Saturday. It is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady. As you can see, I am trying to be somewhat spring-like, even though, let me tell you, the weather, it's meant to warm up into the 40s today. You're probably laughing if you're in another part of the United States going, 40s warm. Well, it is when we've been in the 20s. And yes, if you've been following me, we had more snow this week. Not that much, but we've had that ice mix on top of snow. I took a day off because probably like a lot of you, I've been feeling the energy, and often during Mercury retrograde, which happens to be in my birthday month, and it's for most of this month. I think the 20th it goes direct, so maybe the end of, I've got 2 more weeks, but there have been some very weird things going on, which I will share what I've been experiencing. But before we start on what happened this morning, literally while I was lying in bed, and I live in a condo, so directly out of my bedroom window there's a beautiful tree that in the fall has this beautiful orange. So right now I can see back into the woods, and my eye caught something moving very quickly, and as I focused on it, I saw probably the biggest pack of deer that I've seen. Oftentimes, because where I live is somewhat rural, that when you're driving around the country lanes, you have to be careful because they often run from field to field, especially some of the roads around here because we're surrounded by woodland. There was a lot. If I count, probably 30 or more, and they were not small. So that's interesting that they survived the winter. We've had a very harsh winter here for New England in a long time. If you've been following me, we've had a lot of snow. I can still see it out my window, but I was like, it was just awe-inspiring, I guess is the word. I don't know, but I felt just very calm come over me. So before I came on, I'm like, okay, what's the spiritual meaning of seeing a pack of deer? And it says, seeing a pack, actually a herd it's called, I knew it probably wasn't a pack, is a powerful message of community, collective strength, and the need for gentle, intuitive leadership. So on the worldwide scale, which it sort of feels like, we know that's very much needed, especially from here in the United States. But as you know, I'm not going down that political route. But spiritually, it represents a call to find harmony with nature, embrace new beginnings, and trust your intuition during periods of change. So a couple of cards I pulled before, only because I was curious. I was like, what is this energy? Key symbolic interpretation of seeing a group of deer. A group of deer, especially with a leader, emphasizes the importance of community teamwork and supporting one another. It may represent the need to rely on your tribe or family for support. Intuition and awareness. Deer are highly sensitive animals. Seeing them in a group suggests you should trust your intuition and be aware of your surroundings. Gentle strength and grace. The deer teaches that one can navigate difficult situations with grace, kindness, rather than aggression. As creatures, they shed their antlers. Deer symbolize personal growth, regeneration, and entering a new phase of life. So we are springing forward. I'm here on the East Coast of the United States, and our clocks go forward. Not my favorite because we lose an hour, and weekends are my catch-up time, is how I call it. As I'm getting older, I need more time to recharge my batteries. So I wanted to talk about the weird energy. I even have to make some notes sometimes. So actually, this morning when I was calling in my soul guides and my gatekeepers, and I've talked about them. So I have two beautiful dragons, huge dragons. Actually, my black rainbow obsidian dragon, who sits on the right side of me, which is the male side, he I call him Seeley, and for the longest time he has allowed me to call him that, but he recently gently suggested that his and now I'm saying Anglo-Saxon name is Selig. So when I heard the name Seeley, I actually looked it up and found that that was a name. I believe it's Anglo-Saxon. So he prefers that I call him Selig, which is again beautiful. It actually resonates beautifully with me. And on my left-hand side, I have this beautiful white feathered dragon, very long feathers. She's very graceful, and her name is Peace, which comes from my encounters last year with the peace dragons, which were the dragons from the Vatican that have been circling the globe. I'm sure they're working double time right now. I have not had a connection with them recently, but she is my other gatekeeper, who they both keep me safe. They often open their wings, sometimes together, one in front, one behind, just to make sure that I am totally protective, as that's their job. I also have 4 soul guides, but 2 of them are the ones that I'm really going to work with. So we're getting to know each other, reacquainted is what they're saying. So they're 2 Lyran, and if you've caught me before, my Lyran guides are the more human looking, but cat-like faces. So these are a brother and sister, who his name is Karan, and her name is Celia, and they're slightly taller than me. They're not huge. Some galactics can be very big. Some of the other Lyran races are, and actually I had a visit this morning, a couple of days ago, an Engen showed up, more sort of showing me, and I don't know a lot about this, so this is just what he showed me. He showed himself more in leather battle dress, is what I'm going to say, but with more lion-like features. Then I have this beautiful Irma, which are the more white lion looking lion and lioness. I've had a lioness for a long time, and then this morning a Togetan. I asked often, who's this energy, and they said that they're all related to my Lyran guides, and they just wanted to show up, really to connect. I have a feeling they're connected to people that I'm going to be working with, and I know there are a few people that actually recognize that they either are from the Togetan race or the Engen or the Irma. Mine are the human type Lyrans. So that was just interesting this morning that they all showed up to say, we're just checking in on our family. So like all of us, they're sociable beings. So that was sort of nice to know that I've got this across there. I also have mentioned before that I also connected, probably again last year, with the patron saint of mental illness, and her name is Saint Dymphany. I believe she originates from Ireland. She's telling me that I need to do some channeling with her, because it's going to be important that I understand more about her to take it into my spirit release therapy work. So stay tuned for some more about that. What else? Oh yes, so this weird energy. So this week there have been all sorts of internet energy sort of glitches. I actually had an experience of going into my office. So I have a work phone and a work computer, and I plugged it into the system because I work for the state, was about to jump onto a meeting, and simultaneously my phone and my computer decided that they needed updates, which meant I couldn't jump on the meeting on my phone or on the computer. And I'm like, what's happening? Uh, it's never happened that, like, literally as I plugged it in, and then of course then it rebooted, and then it said updates are in progress. It took about 10 minutes. Just frustrating that should be happening. But then it sort of didn't end there. And I think, I can't remember what day this week it was. It may have been that evening, because that was Wednesday. Um, I came home, was about to start making dinner, when there seemed to be like a dip in the electricity, but it wasn't just and this doesn't happen very often here, and we've had an upgrade in the electrical system in the neighbourhood a while ago. It sort of dipped, but at the same time, I have a water bubbler, which actually has a pump in it that pumps water up, because it's a bottom loader. At the same time that this sort of weird sort of dipping and coming back on and then dipping again, it was just this very weird noise, and it was like the clunking of the water, but there was something sort of mechanical sound to it, and I was like, where's this noise coming from? And then the internet went out, and then it came back on, and then just as it came back on again, it dipped out again. And I was like, that was just very weird, very odd. And then the next day I saw on a Facebook group in my neighborhood that people in surrounding towns, so it doesn't necessarily mean that because the energy in my town might be an electrical problem, doesn't usually affect other towns. So at least 3 towns around me, people were reporting seeing something in the sky, sort of a weird glowing, rather like the electricity sort of dimmed and came back on, and then dimmed and then came back on, and then sort of came back on. Very odd. I don't know what that was, but it seems to be all of this is happening at the same time. I know several people have had problems connecting to Facebook, or they've been kicked out of Facebook. I actually had a weird connection last night, connecting with somebody, and then I couldn't figure out how they'd actually connected with me. I know the minute I feel that something's off, I disconnect. And it was about, I guess it's around people's vulnerabilities. So I'd seen some rescues, had puppies. Not that I don't even know why I was thinking of a puppy, but puppies are really cute. And I must have hit, or that I was, you know how the algorithms are. And then in about half an hour, I got a messenger message saying, hi, this is blah blah rescue. They were going under a rescue, and I see you're interested in the puppies. How can we help? And I'm like, I'm not interested. And I'm like, you know what, I'll find out. And these were miniature dachshunds, and they are cute. They're small. Actually, I think they only grow to about they're about 6 inches high, and they're about maximum 10-11 pounds. My cat weighs more than that. who was sitting on me at the time, and I'm like, I don't think she'd be very happy about something smaller than her. But anyway, I engaged in conversation, and I eventually realized that this was not a rescue, that this was a breeder. So I asked some direct questions, which she answered and said, yes, she was not a rescue. She was a breeder. So I stopped that. But it was just weird to me how we got connected. And I realized that they work on people's vulnerability. So there's no way that I would even think about them sending a puppy that size from, I think it was Maryland, or that I would drive when I'm sure that if I want a puppy, I've always said rescue, don't go to breeders. I don't need a purebred dog. I certainly don't. And then I started reading more about dachshunds or miniature dachshunds, and I'm like, yeah, they're a bit of a challenge to potty train. And and I had an old dog who had those issues, and I'm like, no, don't want to go there. So just be cautious is what I'm saying. I think the reason for me sharing it, because I wondered this morning, I'm like, oh, it's reminding me that not everybody is what they say they are. So what I wanted to, as I like that whenever I'm not sure of the energy, I use the Sacred Soul Shadow deck. So the first one I pulled was obsessive, and there's that beautiful, looks like the bald eagle, fixation to the point of compulsion. This intense focus can be overwhelming. So we've got overwhelming obsessive energy is how I'm reading it. And then the next card, because I'm like, okay, give me clarification. It said avoidance. So avoidance, it's key to see the need to avoid discomfort, but always to overcome it and thrive. So we've got the obsessive energy, which is fixated, and then there's this avoidance. So a lot of people, I'm probably one of them, that are avoiding this type of energy because it brings us discomfort. But eventually we'll be able to overcome it. But this was the one that answered my question. There's a mysterious shift in the energy. So this says personal growth can happen quickly and in ways you may not initially understand. So I would say this time last week till I think Thursday, maybe Friday, most mornings I would wake up with that feeling of dread, that in your lower abdomen. And there was nothing I was dreading. I couldn't figure it out, but it was like every morning it was there, every morning it was there. And I think what I was picking up was the collective energy, this shifting. We know there have been multiple timeline shifts already. Since we're only in the second week. We're going into the second week of March. There have already been some significant timeline shifts. And this one feels like it's mysterious in terms of it's speeding up. And that was the 3-3 portal that opened. I'm hearing they're showing me a portal opened on 3-3 over here, which is allowing for this energy shift. And those of us that are tuned into it are feeling it. I also felt that I was being challenged personally by unseen beings. I'm not going to say it was anything in this physical world. I really felt like they were, I'm hearing knocking at the door. So I have, as I said, I do grounding morning and evening. I take salt mixture shower, a bit of salt shower. I had some nausea, which I think could be affected. There were so many things that it could have been that I didn't want to jump to dark entities who's challenging me. So I think it was a mixture for me to sort out. So I think, again, this is about remembering that we will get challenged in our as we expand and grow. So they're showing me we've got to move out. So we can't just keep doing this. We've got to go out. And as we start going out, we're hitting different timelines, we're hitting different frequencies, and we will get challenged. The brighter we are, the more we're going to get challenged. So that is the message, definitely, from this Sacred Soul Shadows, because the shadow work is coming up. That's what they're telling me. So they're saying it's coming up for us, that if we haven't done the work, we need to do it. If we thought we've done the work, there might be some leftover residual. So moving on to a happier subject, the Dragon's card is the Dragon's Luck. So I know you can't read this. This is good fortune will now be yours. We have been collecting abundance, fortunate meetings, all manner of good things for you, human child. We send them to you now. Know thou art blessed. So I think that really balances out that previous energy, that mysterious energy shift definitely balances that out. Let's see what the angels and aura have. I've got several other decks out. I'm not sure. This is what do we need to know for this week? What do we need to work on? I have been playing, I have them currently playing Temple Bells. As I mentioned last week, the lower vibrational energies do not like, mine certainly don't, whatever might be tempted to be in my house, stay away from the Temple Bells. I've always felt very drawn to the Himalayas, to the Tibetan monks. I don't believe I had a lifetime as a monk, but I do believe I may have been, because I always see myself above, down. It feels almost like I was a guide. Maybe it was when I was the dragon. I was one of the dragons that protected the Tibetan monks. So the bells to me, excuse me, are very soothing. I can see them shift. I literally can see the frequency of the bells and how it vibrates out and how it pushes out that dark energy. It's almost like I can see little things just running away. It's a bit like when you shine, like if you turn your light, your internal light up, they'll run away. It's the same with the bells. So I was going to say that my throat chakra has been doing a lot better, but clearly I'm speaking the truth. So, be the real you. This is upside down, which is Uriel, which is gold. There's imbalance, workaholic, detach, and sacrifice. Interesting. I don't very often get upside down cards, but Archangel Uriel, who I love that bright, we need that yellow. I'm hoping to find some yellow to wear this year. And the last one, upside down again, ordinary, blocked, disheveled, and embarrassed, is Haniel, silver. So I think this is the energy. So the first card is saying, be the real you, and we have to be our authentic self, all right, to get through this energy, especially during March. We have to have freedom, authenticity, uniqueness, and courage, and that is this card. Archangel Uriel is usually about being very driven, but because it's upside down, it's about being detached and feeling that we are sacrificing. I'm seeing it as that some of us may be feeling we're doing more work, we're putting out more than we're getting in right now. So Uriel's saying that is the red flag for us. Like, that's why he's going, me in particular, that's why you're feeling tired, that you're doing more, you're putting more energy out than energy coming in, and you need to balance it. So I always have to use myself. And then Haniel, silver, is usually about the goddess using our psychic abilities and being very proud. And as it's upside down, we might feel embarrassed about something that maybe has been, I'm seeing something has been something that has been written. This may be specifically for somebody watching this, because they're showing me that somebody has written some things. No, I don't. Let's not go down the political road. I know where we're going. So can we bring it back? I don't want to go down to the files, but that's what they're showing me. And they're showing that this is about embarrassment. Well, duh. So sometimes when we don't even want to go there, they want me to say that this is to do with the files and the embarrassment, because there are photographs. They're literally doing this with the book, and they're showing me people that are not themselves. Yeah, so I'm no, sorry, let's stop. I'm not going there. That's the path I do not want to go down. So sometimes that's what we have to do when we get messages, and this is also, they're telling me it's the test to see how far I will go. I am very clear, and they're reminding me, this is a reminder for me and for all of you. If you're a channel or a medium and you get taken in a direction that you personally do not want to go, you don't want to see, I don't even want to discuss it, even though they're saying, well, you have to. Yes, you can show it to me. I'm not speaking it. Speaking is power. I'm not putting my energy behind that. So thank you for sharing that, but we won't be going down that road. So let's see what gateways of light activation have happened or are going to happen next week. So I think in conclusion to that, they're saying it's all good. The floodgates are open. On that book, they're showing me water cascading out, and they're going, the floodgates have opened. So I'll be interested to see if that happens, because it certainly is in other countries. All right. Gateway of light. I think what's happening is I'm holding all the cards upside down. Maybe there's a reason for that, right? Personal boundaries is what's also coming up. Crystal skull wisdom, clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. So if you have crystal skulls, I have a few around. Maybe get those out. And maybe recharge them is what they're saying. Crystal skull wisdom, clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. If you need to dust them off, recharge them. You can recharge them by putting them in the sunlight. You can sage them. You can put them in salt, depending what they're made of. Stargate heart chakra opening, unlock generosity. So this is where forgiveness comes in. Opening your heart, if it's not already open, allows you to accept forgiveness. Unlocking and generosity. So sometimes we have to be the one that does the forgiving. Venusian Galactic Council. Star being guides. Answer the call. Time to shine. Ooh, that's a bright card, as you can see. I will take that. Is very bright, and I'm almost seeing. So I don't know if I mentioned this. I'm going to now, because it reminds me that one of the gifts that has come back online, they're saying it's come back online. It's not a new gift for me, but I think I did talk about this. So I am seeing, I'm trying to think what this isn't. The elephant, I can see an elephant in there. I can also, if I hold it back here, I can see a rabbit, a floppy-eared rabbit. But yes, I did talk about it because I was able to, somebody came through a wormhole from another timeline. Now, I'm not making this up because it blew me away. It was a painting. It was a painting that Dina had done. And I saw a face, she saw a dragon. And then the person that was putting their head down the wormhole was shocked that I could see him. And we had a conversation. So they're saying star being guides. But who? Oh. These are the mantis. All right. So even though it looks like an elephant, it looks like a rabbit. These are now as I look at it clearly. So, and again, I know I shared this story. So the mantis people are galactics. I am unsure of their origin. They're saying, well, Venus, duh, that's why they've appeared. I don't know. That's not confirmed. This is just what I'm hearing. When they appeared to me, it was quite a few years ago, I found their energy, because they're very, very tall, skinny, very long legs, like mantis, praying mantis. And they stood over me, like literally. And I felt, not claustrophobic, very claustrophobic, but they then shared with me that they were my galactic healers. They were like, we come in and we heal you that way. It's almost like they put you in a pod. So they stand over me, and I have been calling them in each day because of my back issues. I really didn't want to go the medical route, but I have to. So I'm bringing in my healers, who are the mantis people, and they've shown up here. So I might do a quick search, always because I'm interested whether I'm right or not. It's not because I need to be right, but they're saying, so where? The Zeta Reticular System. And I'm not that cited. I was like, great. All right. So, some researchers connect them to the ancient representation, such as minor deities in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. All right, so there's a whole lot more to them, but from what they're telling me, they're tall bipedal insects having green skin. All right, who are the mantis people? The mantis men. Insectoids known to inhabit Mars, planets of Mars, and I can't say that. So that makes sense to me now. All right, so I knew I had to. They weren't from Venus. They were going, that just made me look it up, is what they told me. So my soul originated on Mars. So that, now I know why the mantis people are my healers, because they're from that. That's where they're from. Okay, so no, I'm not a Martian. My soul originated from there. I spent many, they're saying millions of lifetimes, actually on Sirius B, and the Pleiades and Lyra, which are all in that sort of area. But interesting that they're there. I might have to check on those people, but that was the message for me, that they are my healers right now. So I also, my hands went on this one, Raise Your Vibration Oracle Deck by Kyle Gray. You probably know that I followed Kyle Gray for quite a long time, and I still do. I like his Oracle decks. They're always different. This one is different. Forgiveness brings freedom. And that's that one. The world is blessed to have you. So that goes along with Be the Real You. I love it when they confirm. You're not alone. So that's the Venusian Galactic Council and the Crystal Skull Wisdom. Your mind is an altar to source energy. Which, look, I can't make this up. They all match. I love that when they all match. Look, the world is blessed to have you. Be the real you. Forgiveness brings freedom. The Stargate Heart. Same colours. And this last one, You're Not Alone. The Venusian Council. Okay, so let's just do the Goddess cards to see what lines up here. And then I will end. I haven't had any other incoming messages. I will ask if there are any messages before we end. It's interesting, I got 4 cards this time. Usually it's 3. So here's the first one. Sekhmet, be strong. Great knows. So that means usually that spirit is close by, or the dragons. The dragons are going, it's not us. So it's spirit. Okay. Oh, this one is the arts. Express yourself through creative activities. Which reminds me to tell you about the Dina and I there'll be a flyer going out in next week, hopefully. We are going to do an event, a dragon channeling event, Kali, endings and beginnings. The old must be released so the new can enter. So absolutely what this was saying here. And let's do one more. Ending. So things have to end before things can, and then compassion. Release judgments about yourself and others and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. So that's a beautiful card to end on. I'm not going to... so I will take... picture of these because again it's interesting to me how the colours match up, the messages match up, and Kuan Yin gave us a beautiful message at the end to release judgment about yourself and others and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. So that's beautiful. I will also say so be on the lookout for a flyer this week. I can't remember when we're doing it, in about, I think it's April. It's the first Friday in April. We're doing an evening event of dragon channeling. We will be using a mixture of art, usually Dina's art, and then I channel messages. We'll be doing like grounding, meditation, that sort of stuff, but that's what's coming up. I also are in a multi-author book, all dragons this time. The last time I did a book, it was not about dragons. This is all dragon information from those of us that have been working with dragons. So I'm not going to give too much away, but it's a multi-author book, and I'm excited. I also, oh yes, that's what they told me to talk about as well, was one of the things that a lot of us are guilty of is we try to do too much at once. So what I've learned, and this is again using my elder wisdom, which is something I'm actually going to be talking about in the book, is they want me to talk about owning elder wisdom, stepping into that role of elder and holding the knowledge and helping others with their journey. Well, that's interesting that they just told me that. That I've realized that I need to, our focus is energy. And as we, if you try and split your energy too much, where does it comes from here and it drains the vessel, is what they're saying. Like that. So they see us as a vessel because we've got a soul and the soul is having a human experience. So they're saying that it drains the vessel if we diverse too much. So for me, I am, and I promised myself I would do this year, as I take on things, I have to do them like one at a time, because then I'm grounded in that focus. So again, this is just wisdom that I'm passing on. So if you find yourself very chaotic and got a bit here, a bit here, a bit here, I could be like that, and I am sometimes. I try at work sometimes. I have to have it's like having tabs open. This one, this one, this one, this one. I'm like, I've got to close some so that I can focus in on it. So that's what I'm doing. So for the rest of this month, I am focusing in on my SRT. I have my at the end of the month, I am taking the we are tested so that, and we have to produce an essay about why we want to do the work, what has drawn us to it, which was easy. It flowed out of me, which I'm hoping that's how my contribution to the book will be. The dragons had a lot to say in it and a lot to share, so that was interesting as well. So as you open up, sort of more flows through you. So yeah, that's the focus for the rest of this month. I'm doing a couple more practice sessions so that I can, when I do my facilitator exam, that it won't be, what are they saying, unrehearsed, that it will flow better. So there's quite a bit to it, even though it's scripted. We then have to write a report that goes out. So if you've ever had SRT clearings, you get a written report, and that's what a facilitator does. So that's my first step into that world. And then hopefully a medium. The dragons have always said that's what I am there to do. So we'll see that step by step, right? So then my focus in April will be on the book. And then planning some time to step away. I'm actually planning hopefully a trip away in the end of May, probably up into the mountains. I'm very drawn to like upstate New York, in that area for some reason. That's where a lot of my I was up in the White Mountains in the fall, so I'm being sort of pulled slightly across to that part, like the Finger Lakes and around there. There's something there that I'm supposed to go and find out. So stay tuned on that. So have a good week. And what are we at? 44 44:33. So 44 minutes, 33 seconds. That was interesting. So have a good week, and I'll be back soon. Also, if you haven't before, please subscribe and like my YouTube channel, and go and check out my Facebook group, and also my website, which is www.eastcoastdragonlady.com. Thank you. Have a great week.